So once again, we're going to the cameras and we can see the cars. They're lined up. They're going up to the border. It looks to us like they're crossing. So it looks like it looks like people are getting across. And because we saw that it was closed and we saw the cameras, we went to the Rosarito Living Facebook group, and we like to always go in there because that's where our local community is in there. Hello, everybody. It's Kanoa here, Baja123.com, and I'm with Louis. Good morning, Louis.
Good morning, everybody.
It is June 1st, 2020, and we are going to give you a border update for this weekend. We actually got some news to share with you guys that we hope some of you find interesting and make your travels here to Rosarito Beach a little bit easier. So, Louis, let's start telling them what's going on here in Rosarito as far as crossing the border, checkpoints, as well as some of the entrances to coming into Rosarito are blocked, or most of them, and we'll go through all that and help everybody understand how to navigate this this week.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys because we got some really interesting conversations to have right now. Just want to remind everybody you can find our border traffic pages in both Baja123.com and RosaritoLiving.com. It's now easier than ever. You can go to the main menu and choose the border wait times. You'll be directed to this page where you can see our latest update, and you can also see near real-time border crossing cameras, which we're going to take a look at right now.
So I like to say they're live cameras. Louis makes me say they're near real time because there's a 10-second delay, but I don't think anybody would care. All right, so Louis, so we're looking at San Ysidro right now, and obviously it's packed, right?
It is. And what I want to say is, I know that a lot of people are going back to the new normal and they're crossing the border for different reasons. But if you don't have to head out of your house, stay home, it is the safest way to stop the spreading of the virus. So hopefully you guys can stay home the ones that you can, the ones you can't, and you have to go across the border. Just be cautious and always follow the right procedures.
Excellent. So what's the actual crossing time at San Ysidro right now?
As far as we can tell, this is as of 11 o'clock this morning, which is about an hour before we recorded this video. And what you guys can see is that the standard lanes have only 4 lanes open. Ready lane has 7 lanes open, but both have between 50 and 60 minutes delay. Obviously, Sentry is the fastest way to go across the border with 4 lanes open with 15 minutes delay. And if you are crossing, or if you're going across walking, for pedestrians, there are 11 lanes open under the standard, 1 lane open, ready lane, both without a delay. And
60 minutes isn't too long of a delay, so that's a pretty decent border crossing. It's not this webpage is not always accurate, but it's within reason. So you can get to this link from our website.
And always take a look at the cameras because it's the best way for you to know. One thing is what the information from the website that you're getting directly from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. But the other thing is to see what you can actually look at, which is the cameras. And those cameras are up 24 hours a day. Like Kanoa says, they're live cameras or new real-time cameras. So definitely go back and look at them before you head out so you can know what the actual situation is. Something interesting that's happening, Kanoa, is let's look at the Otay border crossing page here. And
so right now we're on the government page, right? And it's saying that Otay Mesa is closed.
It is. Well, that's what this is saying, is that the border at Otay is closed. Everything says lanes closed. I don't know when was the last time they actually updated this page. But we just got onto this page. We refreshed this a few minutes ago, and it's still showing that everything is closed. However, take a look at what our cameras are actually displaying.
So once again, we're going to the cameras and we can see the cars. They're lined up. They're going up to the border. It looks to us like they're crossing. So it looks like it looks like people are getting across. And because we saw that it was closed and we saw the cameras, we went to the Rosarito Living Facebook group, and we like to always go in there because that's where our local community is in there. They're talking to each other. They're sharing information. So if you're not a member of Rosarito Living Facebook group, make sure you join, because this is a great place to get information from people that are actually crossing. So we saw Sherry this morning. She put up a post and she's going, hey, does anybody know if the Otay Mesa is closed? And she started getting comments. And go ahead, Louis, because I don't have my glasses. You're going to have to tell us, what are people saying?
Well, basically, people are saying, just look at the video and traffic was moving 1.5 hours regular lanes and 55 minutes ready lane. They're referring back to the border cameras. So if you guys want to take a look at that, once again, you can go to our websites to look at the cameras. Heather was saying Otay was open this morning. There is a schedule for when it is closed, and that is from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day. So what Heather is saying is that the Otay border normally is closed between those times. Ron Reed, about an hour ago, he said, no, the border is not closed. Liz Pedrosa also said that the schedule was from 9:20 a.m. and it was open. Martha McCraw, she also said that they open from 6 to 22 hours.
So Louis, let me ask you this. So, people are going to need to, they're going to look at the government website, they're going to look at the live cams, and also maybe go into the group. So if they just want to double check or triple check, this is a good way for them to do that.
Exactly. We have different ways for you guys to have some information. Definitely join the Rosarito Living Group. If you can see up in my screen, they are up to 22,000 members. So, if 22,000 members can tell you, whether they're crossing, or a few people from the 22,000 members can tell you that they're crossing, you can expect that to be somewhat true. So.
Okay, so we also have some other changes going on in the city right now because, obviously we're in the middle of this crisis right now, and everybody's dealing with it all around the world, and Rosarito is dealing with it in their own way, and we're kind of getting put into this this northern Baja, right, where we're seeing that there's a system that they got in place. Explain to us how they're dealing with this, and what this is actually. This was a Spanish article that we automatically Google translated, but even though Louis speaks Spanish, he's going to tell us in English what's actually going on here.
Well, especially because the images, I can't translate the images, but you'll see that the images are still in Spanish, but the information is in English. This is an article from Uni Radio, which is telling us what is happening around the country. And just so that you guys are aware of, we were supposed to go back to the new normal in June 1st, and that was said by the government. However, they actually put a system together where they're using a traffic light system. I'm going to scroll down quickly so that I can tell you to the traffic light and I can explain it to you. And this is basically saying what people can do throughout the new normal, right? When people are going back to the new normal. And the government divided it in 4 different stages: red, orange, yellow, and green. And this basically what it means is that if your state or your municipality is in red, you are still needing to stay home, right? The social distancing is still applying. Only a certain number of businesses are going to remain open, which they're saying that the activities are going to be essential activities or essential businesses. If you are in the orange, 70% of the social activity in public spaces are still suspended, like schools and gatherings, but more non-essential businesses are going to be able to open. If you're in the yellow, only 40% of the social activity is permitted, and so some people might be able to gather up in public, and some activities can be put in place again, but the activities from school and other closed spaces gatherings are not permitted. And once we get to the green, then everything goes back to normal, meaning that everybody can resume with their normal lives, and they can go back to school, they can go back to social gatherings and so forth.
So can we go right from red to green and skip the orange and yellow? I mean, how fast can we?
I hope so.
Like everybody's like, I'm sure done with, it's like, everybody's like been at home for a couple months now. They're really wanting to get out. But yeah, you know what? The fact is, people is the municipalities are put into a tough situation. They're doing their best to make decisions to keep everybody safe. Right now, Baja is in red, but even though Baja is in red, certain municipalities are having different statistics than others. And I think Rosarito's not doing too bad right now, right?
It's not. And I just want to remind people that what it means to be in red is not necessarily that things are getting out of control, because that's not what it means. It means that we have certain restrictions, meaning only essential activities are allowed to be happening. As of today, what this
and the reason they're doing that is because they want to prevent it from getting completely out of control, right? So these are ways for this for everyone for the people to understand what the government's doing in order to protect the citizens. Is that correct? Okay.
That is correct. And one of the things that we also have to consider is the traffic light system was put in place by the federal government. However, the state governments have the ability to either move the traffic light from red to orange, but also they are able to move us back to the red if they feel that it's necessary. And it's all with the intention to protect the community. What we're taking a look at right now, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kanoa.
Yeah, no, so I want to see, I mean, so right now, the Baja, for the people that don't know, is made up of how many municipalities?
We have 4 municipalities. I believe, let me see, Mexicali, Tijuana, Tecate, and Rosarito and Ensenada. 5 municipalities. One of them is coming up soon, which is San Quintin, but it's not yet in place. So 5 municipalities.
Okay, and so each one of those right now is reporting cases. And if you look, I think what you're going to show right now is on the screen is Rosarito is only showing as of today, because this article actually came out today, is with 3 cases right now. Is this
so let me go ahead and zoom in.
Or is this fatalities? Do you know?
I believe these are active cases. So what it says is in Baja California, active cases are broken down as follows: Mexicali 526, Tijuana 159, Ensenada 59, Tecate 11, Rosarito with 3, San Quintin 2, and San Felipe 5 cases.
So right now, Rosarito's got a really low count, and I think that one of the reasons is because we don't have a highly dense population. So that's just a theory of mine. So it's an opinion. I don't think we have a lot of people on top of each other here. Obviously, we're a beach community, and I think the government implemented restrictions really quickly here to limit distancing, to get people to start proactively taking safety measures. And because of that, I think we've done really well so far as limiting the number of cases that are happening here in our city.
Exactly. And we'll leave the link to the article below so you can see that this is actually coming from June 1st. I suggest that you guys installed a translation quick thing, you know, the little button, what do you call it, extension in Chrome, so you can get it translated. But this information is pretty much everywhere. I'm just pulling it from one of the sources that we have.
So Louis, moving forward, right now, the reason that we're sharing this with people is because the city is taking other precautions right now, such as limiting the access to Rosarito, and they're creating checkpoints and also limiting the access into Rosarito. So tell us what's going on with these checkpoints.
Basically, what both municipalities have said, and this is both for Ensenada and Rosarito, is that they want to limit the amount of traffic that's coming into town. And the way that they're doing it is by putting either roadblocks or checkpoints. And right now, what we're seeing on the screen is Baja was reporting that this Sunday, May 31st, 2020, Ensenada put a checkpoint, and they had a doctor and they had police and military just to make sure that people needed to go into the city for a good reason. So they were actually stopping people from visiting just because they wanted to vacation. What they're asking is for people to take their temperature. As you can see in the first photo with the motorcycle, the guy's actually taking the temperature. There is a doctor. They're questioning the people around, and they're actually turning people back. One of our agents, he wanted to go have lunch, in Ensenada, because he's not from Ensenada and he didn't have a real purpose to be in Ensenada. He was actually turned back. So that's what's happening around Ensenada. The same thing is happening in Rosarito, although not as strict. They are putting some roadblocks around the city to minimize the amount of traffic that comes into the city.
We want to say thank you to Diego Knight out there for posting this article. I believe he runs the Baja Talk Time Facebook group, and he's always putting out really good content that what has to do with Rosarito, specifically in our area. So if you haven't joined Baja Talk Time, you should shoot over there and also become a member of that group. It has some really good information. So let's talk about the checkpoints and what do people do if they come up against one of these checkpoints. We want to make it so people are prepared when they come up to one of these checkpoints, so there's no surprises. Now, obviously, the officers could ask different people different questions, but as long as you have essential travel, you shouldn't have a problem if you're already prepared. So let's help people be prepared in case they come into one of these checkpoints.
Exactly.
So one of the things I did this morning was I contacted Arturo from FRAO, and Louis will explain what FRAO is. Go ahead.
So Arturo Hernandez is the director of FRAO, which FRAO is the Foreign Residents Attention Office. And it's a government entity that helps the foreign residents in Mexico move around and getting to know the city and so forth. And they actually help them with more than just information. But you contacted Arturo this morning, and actually he told us something very, very interesting, which is how to prepare, or what do you need to prepare to come down to either Rosarito and Ensenada. So I'm gonna play a little audio clip from what he got from him, and then we'll come back.
Kanoa, right now it is necessary, preferably, at least some sort of bill with like for instance, if you're coming into Rosarito, you want any bill with a Rosarito address. Ensenada is even more strict. Or like for instance, if they're going into Ensenada and they have a doctor's appointment, I would think that at least having the doctor's card on them.
Okay, so now, that's what Arturo's, is giving you suggestions. You can even do more than that. So I'm sure you could have other things that you would be able to present that you feel that would show why you were here and that there is essential travel. So that was just a couple of items that Arturo mentioned. But once again, you're going to need to be able to prove to the checkpoints that you do have essential travel, or you could possibly get turned back.
Exactly. So what we are asking the community is that if you have an appointment to come down for whatever reason, and you actually have a good reason to be here, meaning
or you live here, right?
Or you live here. Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people live here. One of the things that you have to make sure that you bring is proof that you have that appointment. So like Arturo was saying, if you have a doctor's appointment, carry with you the doctor's information, their business card, or if you have it, or maybe like a confirmation for the appointment. Same thing if you're here for real estate. If you have an appointment with one of your agents, make sure that you print the confirmation for that appointment, or you have their business cards available so that you can tell the checkpoint, hey, I'm here for essential travel, here is the proof, and that way they can understand better what your intention in the city is. One of the things to keep in mind is they don't want vacationers to come down just yet. We're still in the lockdown, we're asking people to stay home, and that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to keep people home as much as possible. So, but if you do have essential travel, just bring with you the proof of whatever appointment you have, and that'll be sufficient.
And that could be with any business here. So if you have an appointment and you're down here to conduct legitimate business for essential travel, just bring something with you. If you already live here and own property down here, I would bring something that proves that you own property down here and you have the right, and you're going to be going to your home. So anything that would help support what you're going to be telling them if you do come up to one of these checkpoints.
Absolutely. So another thing that we have to keep in mind, Kanoa, in regards to coming down to Rosarito and Ensenada is Rosarito actually has some road closures happening throughout the week. It started back last weekend, when they started putting some restrictions to come into town. So I want to share with you something that Diego Knight was able to gather for us, which is a video of some of the closures in Rosarito.
So these aren't actually like road closures. These are off-ramp closures off the toll road though, right? So this is if you're coming on the toll road and you're going to find that most of the exits that you're used to are blocked right now.
Exactly. They started this last weekend to prevent, the vacationers to come down for Memorial Day weekend, and they're still in place. So meaning that some of the road closures are still in place. There is one exit that you guys can take. However, just be very cautious when you're coming down to Rosarito. You'll find that a lot of the exits from the highway are closed. So
the Walmart, like if you're getting off at the Walmart, if you're getting off at the McDonald's, those are all closed. Even the Dairy Queen is closed. There was an off-ramp there. There's only one off-ramp as of yesterday when I was coming back from Marisol. We were at one of the developments yesterday. That we only one of the off-ramps were open. And Louis is going to show you which off-ramp that is.
So I want to show you a picture of the map. So this is going southbound into Ensenada. So as you can see up in my screen, this is where you're headed to the big Pemex station where most people used to get out. That is closed, just like we saw earlier in the video, it's closed. So this is the exit that you guys actually can take. As you're coming into the exit, you'll see this sign, which is called La Paloma, Popotla, Calafe, Las Rocas. This is the exit that is unblocked. The rest of the exits are blocked. So you want to take this one to either go right and go into town, into Rosarito downtown, or you want to take a left and continue going on the free road towards Ensenada and south of Rosarito.
So we just want to make sure that if you guys are coming into Rosarito Beach, you're going to know how to access it. Once again, as of right now, there's only one access point, but that could change at any time. There's been no official announcements when those off-ramps are going to be opened up again. If you're coming in, just make sure you know which off-ramp to use, because if not, you're going to have to go down and turn around, and it'll get a little complicated.
Exactly.
Okay, we hope you guys have found some interesting information on today's border crossing. We hope that this all ends pretty soon. We hope you stay safe and healthy. And if you found anything on this video you like, we ask that you please share it and like the video. Anything else I'm missing, Louis?
Subscribe to this channel if you want to get more updates, because we usually try to get these at least once a week, and hopefully you guys find it useful. So share it, like it, comment. We're taking a look at the comments as well, and obviously subscribe to our channel.
Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching our video. If you're planning on buying real estate in the Rosarito Beach area, make sure to give us a call. Have a great day, everybody.